Meet Timmy. He's still trying to get his AI model to classify cats and dogs, the same project everyone else was doing in 2018. Hours wasted and zero impact on his future. This is Peter. He's building the kind of AI that gets you noticed, the stuff that solves actual problems and makes recruiters slide into your DMs. See the difference? One stuck in the past and the other's building the future. Which one are you? Let's be honest. You're here because you want to build AI projects, not throw away coursework that no recruiter cares about, and not generic fluff. In school, I landed an internship at Amazon that paid over $80 an hour, and the day I graduated, I caught a new grad offer from them that paid over $240,000 a year. I credit the offer to 3 specific projects that you've got to have in your portfolio. I've even taught these 3 projects to thousands of students all over the world and helped them land their dream internship and job offer. Here's what RAG is about. LLMs aren't perfect, we know that. Sometimes they hallucinate and make up facts that just aren't true. Even though the models are getting more advanced, this still happens sometimes. RAG is when we combine an LLM like ChatGPT, Claude, Gemini with an up-to-date vector database of all the new information. This way the model doesn't have to guess to answer questions. It can retrieve relevant information from this database and generate a concise answer, exactly what we want. Here's an example. A company might want an AI engineer to build an internal assistant that can read all the company docs and generate quick answers for anyone who needs them. This is an example of a RAG system. Here's why RAG is so powerful. First, it significantly reduces the chance of an LLM hallucination, which, trust me, is a real-world problem. Next, it requires a dual skill set. You're gonna have to be familiar with information retrieval and vector databases, which I promise are not that complicated, don't worry, but you also have to be familiar with how LLMs actually generate text. It proves your problem-solving skills since you'll dabble in system design, not just data structures. And at the end of the day, this is an in-demand skill. Chatbots, AI assistants, enterprise tools, most of them are using RAG under the hood these days. Here's an overview of how you can build a retrieval-augmented generation project. First, curate your knowledge base. Pick high-quality, relevant documents. You could just pick some random PDFs from your computer, but try to think of an interesting use case. Next, vectorization. We're going to take these documents and pass them into some other kind of model, an embedding model, which is going to generate a vector representation for our documents. This might sound kind of weird, but it's going to make it a whole lot easier for the model to sift through the documents. For the embedding model, any kind of transformer-based model will work. Next, you want to store those embeddings, those vectors of the documents in a vector DB. This could be Pinecone, ChromaDB, the list goes on. There's a ton of options. The next step is to embed the user's query. The user is going to ask a question to the model, and that question needs to be converted to another vector. Then a retriever algorithm will actually search through the vector database for whatever documents or vectors are actually similar to the question being asked. Once we grab out the relevant articles from our knowledge database, we can just paste those in to the LLM prompt, tell the LLM to answer the question using the given documents, and now we have the answer to the user's question, all without having to manually sift through the documents ourselves. So here's why this project wins. First, it shows depth in NLP or natural language processing, system reliability, and integrates many cutting-edge models. And it actually impresses recruiters because A, it's trendy and just straight up practical. Okay, here's what this is. Start with a general purpose LLM like ChatGPT, specifically GPT-2 since it's open source, or you could use the Llama models from Meta. Next, train the model further on a very specific dataset. This could be education, healthcare, productivity. We want the model to become what's called a domain expert on that subject matter. This is like training a very smart generalist to be a laser-focused specialist. For example, if we fine-tune a model on legal documents, we have a GPT lawyer. employer. If we fine-tune a model on customer chat logs, we now have an amazing chatbot assistant. But here's why fine-tuning stands out. First, it creates domain-specific intelligence. This is super relevant to employers. Every company dreams of having their own LLM. It also shows that you understand the difference between pre-training and fine-tuning, the two key steps to developing any enterprise LLM. And lastly, it leverages a concept called transfer learning. The pre-trained model was trained on, say, the entire internet or all of Wikipedia, but that knowledge is being transferred over to our specialized fine-tuned model, so we don't actually need a crazy big data set for fine-tuning. That's probably the best part. You might find this surprising, but even 100 data points is enough to fine-tune a pre-trained LLM. Okay, here's how to do it. A simplified overview. First, pick a task. This could be QA, classification, summarization. Pick any sort of niche task that you want your fine-tuned model to perform well at. Next, gather some quality data. The Hugging Face website is great for finding free, high-quality data sets. Next, choose a base model. We want to choose a model that's open source to make this as easy as possible. ChatGPT 3 and ChatGPT 4 are unfortunately not open source. OpenAI is not very open anymore, but their old GPT-2 model is totally open source. You can find the code on GitHub and actually fine-tune the model. It's not too bad. Next, we need to pre-process the data a bit. We need to get it into a very specific format so the model can be trained to predict the outputs from the inputs. Next, you'll want to train the model for a particular number of iterations. This is honestly something you'll need to experiment with based on the size and quality of your dataset. Finally, you want to evaluate your model. You're going to want to list these metrics on your resume, on your portfolio to showcase your ultimate accomplishment. Don't just list metrics like accuracy. You can dive into F1 scores, blue scores, and so on. And if you're not familiar with those formulas or those terms, don't worry, they're super easy to understand. And lastly, you want to iterate on this project. Don't just settle for the first performance you get. Try different base models, try different data sets, the list goes on. And again, this project wins because there is genuine business value. Companies want this and they will pay top dollar to people who can do it. Alright, the third and final project is very different from the first two. This project goes deep. No high-level API magic. Instead, you're going to pick a research paper and read it. Get a sense of the main ideas. And then without looking at any other code online, you'll try to convert those ideas into working Python code. This one project builds a deeper understanding than 5 surface-level projects. And here's why it stands out. First, it shows real understanding since you'll be doing this from scratch. No Hugging Face allowed. If you're not familiar with Hugging Face, it's a set of libraries where you can work with LLMs without diving into any of the math. But we're not going to allow that for this project. This project also signals genuine intellectual curiosity and passion to AI, especially to hiring managers who understand how involved this project is. Here's how to do it. First, pick a strong paper, but don't aim for the state-of-the-art latest papers. Pick a foundational paper that's still very accessible and readable. At the end of this video, I'll link you to another video on the channel where I go over some beginner-friendly papers. Next, get a high-level overview of the paper. Read the results section first, then look at the introduction and related work sections, and finally all of the illustrations and architectures in the core methods section. That's the best order of sections to read a paper. Next, you're going to implement from scratch. The PyTorch framework will be your best friend here. Forget TensorFlow. If you can achieve at least one of the metrics mentioned in the paper after you've defined and trained the model, more power to you. Hats off, my friend. And lastly, document everything. Any diagrams you created, all the challenges you faced, and how you solve them. I know it sounds corny, but this stuff looks great on a portfolio and especially in your interviews. And the main reason this project wins is because very few applicants are willing to do this. But you, my friend, I know that you are very driven and dedicated, and this project is going to differentiate you from your competition. My final advice is to pick one and go deep. You don't need to build all 3 right now. If one of these 3 projects stood out to you the most, commit to it and build it. And when showcasing your project on your portfolio, don't just link to your code. Instead, tell the full story. Your motivation, your challenges, design choices, all the trade-offs and everything in between. And if you'd like my help building these exact 3 projects, then I invite you to our accelerator, LLM Liftoff. It's linked in the description. We've helped thousands of people build an AI portfolio and land their dream job offer. We even have a full money-back guarantee. I can't believe we even offer that. This system just works. We're that confident. And if you're looking for another video to watch, check out this one. I go over the most beginner-friendly papers. You don't want to miss it.